Sunday, we have a high of 22.
Just for a matter of protocol,
Oh, sorry.
I restarted the recording a bit too late. Sorry, I'm just going to go back and so we called the meeting to order at 7:04. And I'm appointed as the recorder of the meeting. And so now we're trying to figure out if we have quorum.
And I give you the brief weather report that Sunday through Thursday, we have highs of 22 to 23 degrees. It will absolutely be beach evenings.
Excellent.
If you can get there.
Hopefully I can get down there. Yeah.
Get somebody to drop you off in the marina parking lot and just come through the gate.
Yeah. So I don't have to do the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. Strategy.
Right.
Okay.
We're talking about our natural assets, Norm. So
no worries. So
Yeah.
next order of business is approval of the agenda, which is relatively straightforward. I don't know if anyone has any comments or concerns about it. Pretty basic approval of minutes. You know, I think we wanted to talk about sort of a report summarizing everything that we have accomplished, the things that we started, all the reports that were generated, basically just capturing all the work that the CAC actually did over the last year and a half, and the effect that we've had. So I think that would be a useful thing to do. Under unfinished business, we had talked about the creation of a community climate action plan. And so what that roadmap would look like. And then I just added this to the agenda as basically just a quick status update of all the things we had started.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And I have yet to follow up with Nye in our negotiations with our waste or the
Okay. So I actually
do the transfer to have our little.
So your sound's going in and out.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'm not at my council email. I don't know if you are, Jamie, but or Christina, if you saw the minutes of the 19th, May 19th.
Minutes from the 19th.
I can pull that up from the website. 19th. Okay, wait a minute. I'm clearly not using this right.
So it looks like we have an agenda, but no minutes from the 19th.
Oh, wait a minute. Was this the last one we had? And there was Christina, you and Clara and I only?
Can't remember. I'm just looking through my emails and I see Norm sent out minutes from May 19th.
I did. Okay.
Norm.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Good on. Okay.
And that one.
Oh yes, he did. He did.
That email came out May 28th, but I don't know if they were like officially
approved
put on the website.
Okay.
Confirmed.
We'll have to. Okay. We'll just take some notes to that effect. So this is outstanding.
I feel like that was like the last meeting that we all had, wasn't it? Was the one on the May 19th where Norm took the minutes.
Because I believe the subsequent meeting, we had like 2 attendees.
Yeah.
I think that could have been the one that I had texted.
There was one canceled last minute, right?
Yes. you weren't feeling well and Claire was happy to just not have it
Decline, yeah.
happen because there was only going to be you and her and I.
Okay, so that's approval of the minutes. We'll leave that as outstanding and we'll just have to follow up on that. So I'll take an action to do that. So business arising from the minutes was, and my understanding is that there's a report we want to prepare. Outlining actions taken during the past year. And so I guess my question is how we want to tackle that.
Did Ruth not start something?
Yeah, there's the climate action report for council for strategic planning that she had created back at the end of August of 21, where we outlined, what the committee has done. So we had done the declaration of climate emergency. We did the support for Help Cities Lead campaign, staff cooperation to work with the Climate Action Committee. And then from there, the CAC had received and reviewed a report from the CAO on the status of the village's 2012 greenhouse gas emissions report. The CAC members have researched and provided information and data on the following reports. So we looked at the solar panels, we looked at the replacement of diesel fuel, the current grant opportunities to replace oil furnace heating, the innovative proposal unique for Lions Bay to create an option for reducing and potentially eliminating water shortages in the future. And then we had also discussed and provided support for the following, and now asked council on how else the Climate Action Committee can support these initiatives. So the EV charging stations, the best practices for wood burning, the fire smart practices, the anti-idling practices, the creating a recycle depot. And then we talked about creating a strategic commitment to updating the purchasing policy, urgently replacing the use of fossil fuels, commitment to electrifying the village fleet, maximizing energy efficiency, reporting infrastructure projects based on increased risk, and immediate replacement of fossil fuel heating and cooling infrastructures. And then we basically left it with asking how the council, how the Climate Action Committee can support these initiatives and what is needed from council and staff.
Okay.
So that was
What was
provided
date?
to them.
What date was that again?
August 30th.
2021, right?
Yeah, if you have access to the Google Share Drive,
Yeah.
under Lions Bay Action Committee, it's under the requests for decision folder, and then the request for decisions final, and then it's listed there as the CAC report to council for strategic planning.
Okay. So what would the follow-up be of, I guess we would just take that and build off of it to update, because this has actually been taken, staff have implemented a number of things that we asked of them to do. So for example, Nye had put out a bunch of RFPs for equipment, and he added language around R100 diesel compatibility. So I kind of want to, bring that up in the next revision of the report, that, this is actually happening. Like it's, staff have taken this in. They updated their fleet replacement policy to include language around electrification. So, I want to just basically tie that 2021 report to actions that have actually happened in the field.
Yeah.
Sense.
I think the committee as a whole is feeling like there hasn't been any progress on anything.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
to be able to show what the staff and council have been able to do from the recommendations that the Climate Action Committee has put forward,
yeah,
would be really helpful for the
Yeah, I agree. So I started looking at that with practical evidence of implementation. Okay, so does that make sense? And how do we drive that forward?
Do we need to ask staff to provide us with a report? Like on updates of each of the projects that they've taken
Yeah,
on?
so that could be, an action to take to the council meeting. Rest staff report on recommendations with ICC. Was it a, yeah. Okay. So when would we have brought that to council, on the 14th? I want to find when we actually brought that to, sorry, just give me a second. Oh yeah, okay, so maybe we did, I'm just trying to find what date we presented at the council. I think it was the October 5th is actually when it, trying to find, just give me a second here. October 5 minutes.
Yeah, the report was dated the end of August, but I don't know when it actually went to council.
Sorry, that was dated what?
It was dated August 30th. I just don't know exactly when. I'm trying to find it as well.
So we got an So we received, I think it was on the 5th, so committee can, okay. Strategic planning direction moved seconded that council receives the climate action committee recommendations for council strategic planning report. The council provides direction to the committee outlining how the committee can support the recommendation. That was carried. So we need to, okay, so we need to follow up. Let's go. No, so that would have been next. That would have been October 5th. Okay, so, hey, Ron. Hello, Mayor McLaughlin. Pardon my casual address.
I'll just stop that. Your worship would be just fine.
Your worship.
Thank you so much for joining us, your worship.
I'm being glib tonight. I apologize to everybody. Let's get on. I'm a nobody in this.
Well,
The kids have left.
We're trying to follow up on some of the bigger asks that the Climate Action Committee had of council, and where we're at right now is the recommendations that we made to the council's strategic planning initiative. So we presented a report on October 5th. And I think it would be good to get an update from staff on, how many of those recommendations were put into practice.
Mhm.
And so I think we'll make that recommendation at the I got this right. So at the September 20th council meeting, we'd request a staff report on, and so I need to be specific about this, on the Climate Action Committee recommendations.
Mr. Chair, are we on item number 7?
We're on number 6 right now.
Right, I'm at 6. So, so you got to. Sorry, I'm just. The kids have caught me off guard by turning up tonight. Okay, so good. So you're going to bring this all forward on the 20th?
Yeah, so the 20th, we want to see, make a request of staff to see how many of the recommendations that were made were implemented. So there was a report produced.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one action. Okay. I think that the theme is, Ron, that we need to provide some evidence to the Climate Action Committee that the last year and a half was effective and things were implemented. So, some evidence would be, for example, the most recent equipment RFPs that went out that had reference to R100 diesel compatibility, right? So just to bring that to the surface and say, look, this was a recommendation made by the CAC to investigate R100 compatibility. It made its way into public tender as a requirement. So that's just to show that, staff is listening and that the CACs had an effect. And so we want to try and tease those examples out. And I think, I don't know how you feel about this, Christina, but basically updating that report from 2021, so the August 2021 report, updating it to reflect where we actually saw some rubber hitting the road. Okay.
Like the purchasing policy was on there, right? As one of those items. So has that been done yet, or is it we're still waiting for staff to get to that, right? And even if they haven't gone to staff, like what's the deadline dates that the staff is trying to hit, right?
Yeah.
Through the chair, I would have guessed no. I mean, I can't see why not. I mean, this is an easy OZ kind of thing. I think that in your list, there's some clear wins, easy victories. Other ones. So I apologize for coming in late. And Christina, thank you for joining us in the resident on.
Just to interject, I see we could eliminate number 15 because the CARB report is no longer, that's been removed, correct?
Yeah.
What does that mean, removed?
Like it's no longer a requirement. It's not being asked of the village to provide anymore.
That's Jamie's ready. It's historical now.
The resident survey. Did we ever do that survey?
No.
No.
To the co-chairs, might I suggest that this is a really great agenda, and I wish there was a more fulsome group, but I understand why. I mean, it's summer, kids, and pending holiday, and all the rest of that stuff. I look at even at myself, and my kids turned up because the dishwasher blew up and their oven exploded. So
that's okay. My kitchen sink is backed up and it's in pieces right now.
Daily life. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right now I'm doing dishes in a room away from my kitchen, trying to figure out how to replace ancient parts of a sink.
I would
actually Blake's doing that.
I would suggest that when we I'm talking to Christina pretty much. I think climate action is certainly in the piece at the all candidate session. It's something that the councillors and the mayor is going to talk about. So stay tuned for that. I think we need to take from where we are here to there and put the importance on it.
One other item, and I don't know if this would bring this up at a different point, but the terms and reference also, like, you know, the term is expiring October 15th, 2022 for the Climate Action Committee. So I don't know what happens after that, if the committee has to reapply or if it automatically rolls over, but I think
Through the chair, if you'll allow me to answer.
Mhm.
October 15th is election day, and that's a day that happens. Pretty much, Christina, nothing happens in November other than, you know, kind of the judge and the formal stuff, and there's a perfunctory meeting. The mayor will reappoint committees in December.
Okay.
And I would reappoint all the members here, subject to the chairs. We may have a chat, and there may be some extra folks we want. Some people may want to say thank you. I've had a great time, and I want to say thank you. So I'll do that behind the scenes, and we'll do that if that's a good enough answer for you.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure how it impacted what we're doing.
To help the co-chairs, will you stay on?
If in a position to stay on, yes, I will.
And to Christina, if asked, would you stay on?
I honestly don't know if I can, to be honest.
Well, the working for a living thing has changed.
Yeah.
So and like some of us, you've got little guys running around the place too. I got it. So thank you very much. I'm always selling, trust me.
Yeah.
No, and
I
much
would like
appreciated your
to, I
time.
just don't know.
Okay, back to the co-chairs, sorry.
No worries. So I just want to run through this list. Solar panels on municipal hall buildings. We had a budget produced. The EV charger initiative, there's no new grants at the moment, so I guess we're just sitting on that. The food truck power and the beach event power. I mean, I don't know that we've made much progress here.
I don't think,
We haven't.
no.
Baseline village data.
In fact, I believe when it comes to the food truck, we actually had to have them move their trucks because their emissions were affecting trees. Which event was Canada Day? Was that Canada Day?
Oh,
That was Canada Day.
was that Canada Day or the fireman's thing? I can't remember. They
No,
run
not the firemen's. It was Canada Day because the parking lot had been blocked off for the food
Right,
truck.
yeah,
But we had
you're right.
some people from
Yep.
outside the village who moved the barriers and then went on in and parked in the parking lot. So the food trucks went and parked closer to the beach, but they were right under some trees, and it was, yeah,
Mhm.
so we have not hit that one out of the park yet.
Yeah.
Baseline village data. I mean, we got the oh my goodness, what was the consultant's name again? Oh my god.
Right spot?
Bright Spot.
Yeah,
Bright Spot GHG report for municipal hall.
But that's only like a piece of the information, right? The baseline, like we still need like more, because if I recall correctly, there's a report somewhere, I think it was in my email where it was my email. Sorry, you can move, if you can move on, I'll try and find it. I'll bring it back and just.
The CARB report, so it's no longer a requirement. The village actions to date, so I'm going to request the staff report at the 20th, September 20th council meeting. Small community energy efficiency upgrade grant loan. So we applied for, no, we didn't apply. We attempted. We what? What do we do?
which one is that again?
The green community grants for the hall upgrade for the diesel. So we put
Ah,
together data for green communities
Mm.
grants for hall diesel replacement failed on budget. Right, we just don't have the money. Infrastructure improvements. We didn't really, we still need to define what that looks like.
Counselor, I'm taking that to mean with the, without disclosing too much, the bids that are coming forward to us, I think that where they stand on climate action and what they're doing is, I think that's your theme.
Well, I think the idea was that in any case, when we take on a capital project, we throw a green lens on it.
Yeah, and so we've got two major ones now that are coming to council, if not on the 20th, for sure on October the 4th.
Yeah.
That baseline, I was referring back to the excerpt from the OCP where it said, although the Community Energy and Emissions Inventory, CEEI, produced by the province reports that 92% of greenhouse gas emissions in Lions Bay is due to transportation-related activities and only 8% is allocated to buildings. The accuracy of the 2000 figures is not clear, and therefore these figures cannot be relied on as a baseline. So one of my questions was, well, when what is our baseline? If we can't rely on that CEEI report, then how do we determine what that baseline is for Lions Bay and move forward with that?
Okay. So what does that look like?
And whether that means going back to another consultant to get a baseline created, right? Or if that's something staff can pull together. I'm not totally clear on what that means, but
Through the co-chairs, I think the works manager would like to answer that question.
I don't
I mean,
think it's on the call.
no, no, not on the call, but it's a great question, but I mean, it's a formal answer. And I think on many of them need formal answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How do we move this? Okay. Okay. Village actions to date. So we're going to request a staff report at the next council meeting. Although I've started to see some evidence, and I know that some stuff has been started. Absolutely. The fleet replacement policy has electrification, and so we just want to pull those things out to make sure we can highlight them. Recent equipment, RFPs list, R100 ability requirements, fleet replacement, all you'll see includes electrification over ICE replacement. Those are the so we'll get yeah. Purchasing policy staff. And we still have budget in place for EV station opportunity. Yeah, and I guess the staff report will, the request for a report from staff will shed some more light on this. Small community, any other actions you guys know that staff, just off the top of your head? Ron or Jamie, you know?
Thanks very much, Mr. Chair. I think we need to push this to staff and get an answer on a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Small community energy efficiency upgrade grants loan. So we pulled together data for the Green Communities grant for the Hall diesel replacement, but it failed on budget. That's fine. Infrastructure improvements. Look at all new capital projects with the plans. You know, how do we formalize this? Is that, I can't, you know, did we agree to formalize this?
Well, I mean, part of that kind of ties back to the purchasing policy too, right? When you formalize your purchasing policy, it then means that all of your projects have to have that green lens, you know, like.
That is, you know, that is the best tool we have. I agree. Communication, education. We didn't really do much there, eh?
No,
No.
John,
Sorry, go
Sorry.
ahead, Christina.
I was, John's email had a lot of great suggestions. It's like what we could do to move forward. And one of the last meetings that we had, we talked about some kind of like, you know, open house education
Yeah,
thing, but we haven't formalized anything.
we had discussed putting together like a town hall event, kind of a invite the bird committee, the Bear Smart committee, invite somebody in from, you know, Tesla or someone from a solar
Hydro.
panel, hydro, someone that puts in solar panels, like bring a whole bunch of people together to educate, and then make sure we had a barbecue so people would come for at least the food and then get some education while we were there. But I do remember Ruth saying that that's a wonderful idea, and they had attempted something similar in the past, but the organization and the amount of work that it takes. And then we sort of lost traction those last couple meetings. So not a terrible idea, still moving forward. I think it would be a good event, but that looks like it would be the next like committee that would probably want to pioneer something like that. And realistically, that is looking spring 2023 from my perspective.
Yeah.
Finance funding. So, how much, you know, I gotta look, we did put some money in the budget for, I think the only thing we have in earmarked in there right now is 25K for a grant opportunity. And then this last one, Peter just brought it up at the beginning of the meeting. You know, how does source water protection and climate action, how do the two come together? And I don't know, Christina, if you have, I mean, just for some background information, we have an agreement with the province for filtration avoidance. Because our drinking water is surface, we have surface drinking water, we don't take from a well. And so surface drinking water has higher treatment requirements. And in many cases, well, currently, the province requires filtration of surface water. And we don't do that because our water is considered to be pristine, and we have a, you know, we've been able to maintain filtration avoidance. But I think part of our promise is that we improve watershed protection to, to make sure
Yes.
contaminants don't get in, whatever those happen to be. So I think the idea of, this is obviously a much bigger initiative, and the question, I guess, is how can the Climate Action Committee support or help that? Like what, so I guess it's more of a question than anything. I don't know.
It's also a very fiscally prudent question to ask, because the cost of putting in filtration for this community will be obscene. It is something that needs to be avoided at all costs if we want taxpayers to remain happy. It is not going to be like an $11,000 per house cash call for a new sewer treatment plant or refurbishing the wastewater treatment plant in Kelvin Grove. It will be much more significant from my understanding. So this,
It's something the province would make us do, or what's the governing jurisdiction that says?
Exactly. So there's it's under provincial jurisdiction, and the Climate Action Committee, actually the Infrastructure Committee was looking at this in the past, and absolutely, we need to kind of lean into terms of reference, in essence, like really understanding what it is we could do as a Climate Action Committee to support this. I don't really, I don't really have a full grasp on what the ask is here.
I wonder if there's maybe some synergies between the Climate Action Committee and the Infrastructure Committee. It's not my wheelhouse for sure, but I mean, John and Greg, definitely, I think we're two members on the committee that had a lot more knowledge in regards to water.
Yeah, and we've got
Off the ice stupas, so.
Anthony Greville's a resident drinking water expert, and he knows what's going on that front. And to me,
Yeah.
this actually has a home in the IC. I believe this actually has a home in the IC, and less so in the Climate Action Committee, to be perfectly frank.
But it could tie back into, like John Westcott mentioned, having potentially having some experts come in and talk to the committee about certain things. So maybe there's an opportunity for Anthony to come in and educate the Climate Action Committee, and then that might spark some interest in people thinking about it, and we're really just kind of brainstorming and putting ideas out there, right? So
it even kind of speaks to me as like applying to the province to look at certain trails and access to the public, and maybe some of that just needs to be cut off. I've definitely been in small communities where you are not allowed to go past this point because this is drinking water and you can't be traipsing around here with your dog or deciding you're going to camp. Like, it could actually be expanding our boundaries to protect our watershed and not allowing the public in.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a once over on our original list. The biggest action, I guess, will be to update the August 30th report 2021 with actions that have actually been taken by staff, like has our advice been implemented, and then putting a bow on it. So when would we want to do that? When's the last council meeting?
Well, our next one is Tuesday, right? The
Yeah.
20th.
I don't think we'll have enough information by Tuesday.
No. Is it October 5th? For some reason that's sticking for me.
Nice.
Uh,
Take a look at the
maybe October 4th then would be the next council meeting.
Is that on the calendar? Is that what it is? Yeah, okay.
I'm not looking on the calendar. I'm just looking on like Tuesdays to Tuesdays,
It is.
October 4th.
the
Is it
4th.
the last one, or is it November 1st?
That's, the 4th is the last of this functional council. The 1st of November is where the judge comes and swears you in, and it's rather a perfunctory meeting.
Okay,
Mm,
that's pretty short. Like 2 weeks. I don't think we're gonna.
Sorry, 4 years is a long time.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, it's September 15th now, today. October 4th is, can we reasonably expect to get a report from staff between the 20th and the 4th on implemented? So I
Two
guess,
weeks.
Well, Mr. Chair, I mean, you can't do it without asking, so I think it's a good ask.
okay, it's a good ask.
And if they can't if they can't deliver, then sure as heck they're going to make it happen in the meeting in December with the new council. So I think Climate Action Committee is a continuum. It's not like the shutters just stop.
Yeah.
So I think this is good work, and I think it should be pitched to staff and to make it happen. If they can't make it on the 4th, then they'll make it happen at the next functional meeting.
Okay,
So we ask on the 20th, Tuesday.
Ask for the
on the
20th, ask for the 20th, hope for the 4th, believe it'll happen in December. I mean,
Or do we ask at the 20th and hope for the 4th and then make it reality in December?
That's the reality, Madam Co-Chair.
But I don't think we need to add pressure to staff tomorrow by asking them for an unrealistic report
No,
for
because,
the 20th. That's,
no, it's
if-
too late to go on the agenda right now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's about to get printed.
so
But
we
I think
can modify the agenda on the 20th and
Yep,
ask them.
if you put it forward, I'll second it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
is that about capture it?
That's good.
Okay. So any new business? So revisit what happens at the end of term, mail reappoint in December. Any other new business that we want to bring up? Okay. There is no public.
What
There you go.
kind of? Ron's
Well-
kind of public.
Oh, hey, Ron.
I'm part of the committee by default.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, okay, sorry, my error.
No, there's no error. If I may, Christina, I'm going to give you a call in a few minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm around.
Thank you. And to the two co-chairs, could you call me in 10 minutes and I'll put forward the motion to adjourn.
Okay.
All righty then.
Second,
Seconded.
thank you. All in favor? Yes.
And give me 15, please.
Okay, you guys are going to call me. Thanks. Bye.
All right, take care. Thank you,
Okay.
Christina, so
Thanks,
much.
Christina. Bye.
Bye.